My name is Martha Bawn. I'm an undergraduate research assistant at the Bunge Lab at UC Berkeley, and right now we're in the eye tracking lab in Tolman Hall. I'm from Boulder, Colorado. My parents are both kind of science-minded. My mom grew up in Poland, and she got the equivalent of a master's degree in physics over there. And when she came here in the 80s, she worked as a computer programmer. And my dad is also a computer programmer, and that's how they met. So in my household, growing up, it was always talking about science and new things that were going on in really all fields of science. In high school, I learned a lot about cognitive science kind of on my own, just reading pop science books, that kind of thing. And then when I came here to Berkeley, cognitive science was the major I chose, and it was a really great thing because here you take classes in a lot of different disciplines: psychology, neuroscience, computer science, philosophy. So that really kind of broadened my perspective, and specifically with this lab, I applied for a research position through the program with the university, and I've just kind of applied to the three most interesting labs, and this was the one that caught my attention because it's using this eye tracking technology, which is it's almost like mind reading. It's a really cool thing that you can use for a lot of different purposes, so I thought it would be really good to learn that kind of technique that I can apply to lots of different problems.
Chocolate shape or a specific chocolate color?
So in the study I'm working on now with the eye tracker, we're asking people to solve these little puzzles, and afterward we ask them, how did you solve this puzzle? And they just write it down. And it turns out people are really bad at doing that. They don't know really the process that their mind is taking. And the cool thing about the eye tracker is that we can see specifically what parts they're looking at in what order, and we can see the strategy they're using, but they don't actually consciously know that. Just last week or so, we finished kind of the process of getting the data into a usable form. So when it comes out of the eye tracker, it's hundreds of thousands of lines of just numbers, and you can't really tell anything from that. So it took us months, I guess, to get that into the software and get kind of a visual representation of that data. And we're just starting to look at that visual representation, and it looks like our hypothesis is at least applicable. We're actually seeing different strategies that people are using to solve the problems, and we can separate those strategies out based on the eye tracking data.
I think the only thing that was randomized was whether the correct answer was this one or that one.
Right. I've learned so much. I've only been here 6 months or so, but I've learned a lot about kind of just the nitty-gritty of putting together an experiment. Everything from making a list of all the variables you have to control for, and writing the actual code that collects the data, and then processing that data so that it's usable. So I'm learning a lot about just the programming and the statistics and the designing the experiment that I don't think is really taught in classes. I mean, this study is showing that practicing your reasoning skills can apply to lots of different kinds of problems that involve that reasoning skills. Right. So I think, actually doing something, getting your hands dirty, it's not just getting better at that one specific thing. It can actually change the way you're thinking and the way you approach problems. Specifically this lab, people seem really excited about the kinds of questions they're asking, and not just the ones that they're working on, but everybody's. So I really like how people get involved with each other's projects, and the environment in the lab is one where everybody continually wants to learn and ask new questions and take things further than they are taking now, and that's absolutely the kind of environment I want to work in.